Incoming was pretty boring. Marvel just dropped a big book coming this holiday season called Incoming. It's a teaser for everything coming into Marvel within the next year, a bunch of big events happening, some smaller events, and just where our favorite characters are gonna be headed coming into 2020. I will say this about the book. If you never read a Marvel comic in your life and somebody said to you, well, where do you want to start off, and you didn't know? Like if you were like, oh, I watch the movies, I'm a fan of these characters, I want to jump into comic books right now, where do I go from here with Marvel? I would hand them a copy of Incoming and say, look at this, these are all the main players we have in the Marvel comics right now, minus a few exceptions. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? What is your pick of, you have the pick of the litter here, what would you like to read? So you give them Incoming, and you say, so here's your teaser for every big event coming out. It gives you time to prepare for your stories. Where would you like to go? Or it can make you realize how convoluted and ridiculous the Marvel Universe has gotten, like it did for me. So this whole story is set up to a big event called Empire that I think Al Ewing is writing. I'll get into a little more of why I'm not excited for this event with events that happen at the end of Incoming. I won't start at the beginning though. We start with a murder, and there's a new character who's introduced called the Masked Raider. And his design is beautiful. I love the way this character looks, and I'm definitely excited to see more from him. I know we're getting more from him because they tease it at the end of the book. That is the highlight of the book for me, is seeing this new character involved in a murder, and he kind of explains his origin. It didn't make that much sense to me, so I'm kind of excited to see more of where it comes from. That could be cool. So we find a dead body, he's like, this is suspicious, I'm gonna pass it off to a real hero. So then we go on an escapade through the Marvel Universe as all these heroes try to figure out this one murder. We get glimpses from everyone. There's a lot of characters in here. I'm not gonna reference them all because I'm probably gonna forget some. But I'll tell you my standouts. Daredevil and Elektra, I just got caught up on that book and it's incredible, so I'm glad to see them. Jessica Jones, a personal favorite of mine when Kelly Thompson is writing, and she did write the Jessica Jones stuff in this, so that was exciting. Agents of Wakanda was cool to see. Night Thrasher, a character who was born and raised in the 90s and is purely a 90s guy, gets a lot of play in this issue. Now, I'm not sure if he's on a team, if he is on Agents of Wakanda or Alpha Flight, or is he part of SWORD, if they're still doing SWORD, or if he's an agent of Atlas. But seeing Night Thrasher, a character who I have an attachment to, like of that era of 90s, Night Thrasher and Darkhawk are like two of my favorite characters, and I just love that they still do things sometimes, so that's really cool to see. But he still uses the skateboard. He's got a lot of play in here, surprisingly. They give him a lot to do, and he's pretty smart in it, not gonna lie. Really cool to see him interacting with Richard Rider as Nova, and they're just kind of talking to each other about their new Warrior days. That made me happy. Really cool to see that. That was a great standout for me. Seeing Shang-Chi, I'm not reading Agents of Atlas, but seeing Shang-Chi show up was really cool. Not a lot of Avengers in here. Surprisingly, the Avengers don't get a lot of play. They have a little moment themselves and they're gonna go talk to the Atlantis embassy or something. I don't like the current Avengers roster. It just feels way too weird, and I haven't read Aaron's run. I'm probably not gonna read it until he does his big Moon Knight arc that he's been teasing. And maybe that'll lead into him writing Moon Knight and giving Moon Knight the treatment Thor deserves, but that's neither here nor there. Either way, we'll get past it. Then we get a lot of these smarter characters trying to figure out the clues to get here. Some good stuff from Amadeus Cho. And this is a big tease for Outlaw, which is gonna have the young hero Civil War, which, oh, fuck you. That is not an idea that you need to do with these young characters, because it goes against everything they stand for, and what they stand for is unity, working together, and not infighting because they're lazy. I've actually just read all of Champions, and I'm currently in the process of reading Miss Marvel, and I'm liking Miss Marvel. I wasn't a fan of Kamala until I actually started to read her, and she's one of my favorites now. I just love seeing her, and I don't want her to be in like this little Civil War event because it makes no sense for her character. So we got Amadeus Cho learning to do some smart shit. Blue Marvel, who's making a couple cool appearances in modern comics right now. Very interesting to see him show up. Cool stuff with Jane Foster. Again, I'm not reading that. I feel like I should be reading Jane Foster, Valkyrie, but we'll see what happens there. But of course, one of my favorite characters gets some play in here. Reed Richards. We are getting him away from the Fantastic Four for a bit here because he is the smartest man in the universe, and we are telling people he is. So that made me happy, where everyone said, you're the smartest man in the world. Let's do it. Let's solve this thing. And let's get it done. Let's have fun. So good seeing him in there. A little side story, a little side arc, if you will, for this entire story is the idea of the robot revolution where free will is now allowed for artificial intelligence. And, okay, sure. Like, I get where you're going with, they are life and they're allowed to do that. And there are some prominent artificial lives in here. I think Jo Costa wasn't in here, but she's a big deal in Dan Slott's run of Iron Man, I'm pretty sure. Vision and Viv. Viv got some play in here, that was kind of cool to see. I like Viv. That whole story that Tom King did back in the day was pretty good. So seeing Viv, I'm always happy to see her. Really good in Champions, some weird stuff going on with her, but hey, that's okay. And a really cool factor for me was seeing Valeria release Herbie of his little programming chip to keep him like submissive to the Fantastic Four, and he just becomes a huge dick. He's like telling them to go themselves, and he's just leaving all over the place. I really liked it. That was one of my favorite parts of this book, actually, was seeing that. And on the note of the Fantastic Four, we got another tease for the Zdarsky book coming out, X-Men Fantastic Four, all about Franklin Richards being a mutant. Mr. Sinister is rambling to himself, but like, man, there's no quality programming. Look at all this stuff I have. I don't have Franklin Richards in my programming. Let's get him in here. So, you know, that was okay. And I'm excited for that book, but I'm not excited because of this little snippet from Mr. Sinister. I'm excited because I like Franklin Richards and I like the Fantastic Four. That's why I'm excited for that book. Then, you know, you get your usual suspects showing up here. Of course, Spider-Man and Miles are gonna show up in here. Captain Marvel plays a big part. I'm not a fan of her. I'm not a fan of Carol Danvers. I think this is leading into her turning bad, or is she already bad in the Thompson run? I don't know. I don't care that much. Doc Samson's interviewing Joe Fixit, Al Ewing doing his Al Ewing thing. We got beautiful artwork. I can't remember the artist's name. We're talking about Las Vegas, then we go to Las Vegas, and then we see Johnny Blaze needs to talk to Mephisto, leading into Ghost Rider #4. I like Ghost Rider a lot. I'm really liking that book, so seeing that show up in here was pretty cool. Still a lot of weird decisions and weird stuff happening. We find out that the body is from a Skrull. And our big Empire event is gonna be the Kree and the Skrulls teaming up to destroy humanity. I understand where you're coming from, why you'd want to do this. Please, please don't do this. I don't care. I don't need another Kree and Skrull book. They've had so much play, I don't find them interesting, and I don't think I'm the only one that thinks this. These characters and these, you know, people have been used so much, and there's just nothing compelling with them anymore. So having them team up under the leadership of Hulkling doesn't interest me. You're gonna bring Hulkling back in a big way. Don't make this the big way. You have the entire setup with him and Wiccan connecting. Have something happen to Wiccan. I don't need the whole royal, look at me, we're gonna attack Earth shit. I don't like it, I didn't need it. I'm not interested in this event. That leads me into another event I'm not interested in. Iron Man 2020. Who the fudge is Arno Stark? Why does he have big gears on his shoulder? I mean, I kind of like the design, but I'm just not interested. So it sucks. What's going on, guys? This is what I'm saying about Marvel Comics being so convoluted and makes no sense. If I gave this book to somebody who never read a Marvel comic, be like, wait, why do the X-Men have their own island? Why is the Thing's arm broken? Wait, how come Joe Fixit Hulk is inside the body of Bruce Banner? Wait, why is Mephisto locked in a tower in Las Vegas and Johnny Blaze is the new ruler of hell? What happened to Tony Stark? Why is his weird brother wearing a gear armor suit, you know? The only one that made sense was Spider-Man, and he was just doing nothing, so why change the status quo, right? Black Panther leads the Avengers, cool. He also leads the Agents of Wakanda, cool. You know, just some weird shit. Like, I wouldn't give this book to somebody and have them understand what's happening in the world. Incoming, it's a good book if you just want to get caught up on what's happening in the Marvel Universe. It helped me get caught up on what's happening in the Marvel Universe, but other than that, it's just setup, and it's not that interesting of setup. All your favorite writers and artists are here doing their best, but that's not enough to make you want to be like worth picking this book up, because it's not. If you read the solicitations, if you in any capacity already know anything about this story, then you don't need to pick it up. It's an easy skip. If you want to get into the Marvel Universe, pick it up, find a character you like, go read that actual story, because it's probably better than Incoming. But let me know, guys, did you like Incoming? Did you hate it? I'm very curious to see people's reactions to this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and more content will be coming soon to video and VHS.